Let me give you a situation. You are studying for your civil services exams and your father is ailing and he is wanting your attention. What will you do?
You're also from Gujarat. You have stayed there. Now, the people say there is something like Gujarat model of development. Is there anything like that?
What are the three things we must do? In a way, we are obliged to do to face China as an adversary. I'm not talking about infrastructure, general things. Anyway, those are being improved at the border. Yes, please come in. Please have a seat.
Good morning, sir.
Atul. And you're Indian, you are already in IRS.
Yes, sir.
Which IRS you are?
Sir, I'm in the customs.
Customs. And 4 chances you have had. And how many personality tests?
Sir, 3 of. This is the third.
This is the
Third.
third. Okay. What was your performance in the first 2?
Sir, it was not that good,
No,
but 165 and 168.
How much?
165 and 168.
168, around the same time. Okay. And you are interested only in IFS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe we'll ask you later why only IFS. General sir, will you please begin?
Okay, Atul. What all competitive exams did you appear in after your class 12th?
Sir, this is the only exam I gave after in my university after completing my
No,
graduation.
after 12th. Any exam after 12th?
No, sir.
Which university did you study?
Sir, Maharaja Sayajirao University.
So how was the admission to that?
So it was based on our 12th board results.
12th
Yes,
basically.
sir.
Okay. You're keen for IFS.
Yes, sir.
Recently, a case is being reported that there are over 100 men from India which have been recruited by Russia, and they were told that they'll be the defense security helpers, but some of them have been sent to the battlefield, and they have reported the matter to the embassy in Russia, but it's not being heeded to. What will you do in such a situation when you are, as IAS officer, deployed in Russia? Passports have been taken away, documents have been taken away, though they are getting some remuneration, but these people are not keen to go into the battlefield, but they have been pushed into the battlefield. 3 of them have confirmed that they have been into it. They are feeling helpless. What will you do?
Sir, my very first reaction would be to demand consular access. As per international law, the other country is obliged to give us consular access. If there are some resistance, sir, my very first reaction would be to have a high political level intervention. As we can see in the Qatar case as well, it has worked. And sir, if we have some labor attaches in the embassy, they are in touch with the workforce there. So I would take their help as well. And sir, earliest access is something that I would prioritize.
What about your counterparts in India?
Sir, I'm sorry, the IFS officers?
Yes. Would you not like to report back to your Indian counterparts in India?
Sir, definitely.
You will have your daily feedbacks, daily reports.
Yes, sir. As I have mentioned, my aim would be to have a high-level political intervention and also the ministry's intervention. So I would definitely be reporting to them, honestly.
Okay. The case in Manipur, what was the whole issue? How did it spark off? And there was some judgment given by the court today, Manipur High Court. What was it? Can you go over the sequence as to how it happened? From March 23 onwards, when the judgment was passed by Manipur High Court.
Sir, I'm really sorry. I'll have to read today's newspaper. I've not done that as of now.
Okay, give me the how it occurred. Just tell me that.
So the Manipur violence.
Yeah.
Sir, there are numerous reasons associated with it. Sir, one was said to be the immigration of the Chin people across the border. There were also concerns of arms and ammunition as well as drugs smuggling.
Manipur.
Yes, sir.
The violence had erupted because of what?
So because of the conflict between the two communities, the Kukis and Meiteis.
So what was the reason? Spark off point was,
Provocation,
what was the point of sparking off?
So, for what I know, there were these long-standing friction between the two communities in terms of drug smuggling, arms smuggling, also the demographic changes. And so the religion also has to play a role in it, in a dominantly tribal Christian community versus the dominantly Hindu community.
Do you recall that a judgment was passed where the court had asked the state government to consider Mathis to be part of
The,
ST category?
yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I
Do you
forgot that.
recall that?
Yes, sir. So that
Okay.
was, sir, also a major concern that the Meithis were demanding an ST status,
Okay.
which was being resisted by the cookies in the state.
Okay. Right. Let me give you a situation.
Yes, sir.
You are studying for your civil services exams and your father is ailing and he is wanting your attention. What will you do?
Sir, I would try to judge what is the degree of issue at the moment. So, considering that my mother is with him right now, my first reaction would be to assess what is the situation, whether there is any explicit need for me to be there, whether there's any emergency situation. If that is the case, I would definitely prioritize the health of my father.
He is wanting your attention. Now what will you do?
So if it is just about attention, maybe I can communicate with him on the mobile phone or a video call. But if my explicit presence is needed,
Let's assume he's staying with you.
yes, sir.
You're staying together, all of you, and he's needing your attention.
Sir, I would definitely try to manage my schedule because as I'm on the interview stage, I do have a lot of time at hand. So I would.
No, I'm saying that you are preparing for your exams, the mains exams,
Yes, sir.
and you were thick into your studies, and at the same time the conflicting requirement was that your father needs your attention. So one side your father needs attention, another side you have to pay attention to your exams, which are very vital for you.
Yes, sir.
Now what? Is the situation clear now?
So if I may clarify, what kind of attention is required, as in just the time or the togetherness?
As a son, when your father is ailing, what kind of attention would he need from you?
So I believe the emotional and the moral support.
So
is
how will you do
a major
that?
Part of it. Sir, I would stay with him. I would stay beside him. Simultaneously, I'll do my studies. If there is any situational need, I would cater to him, and therefore I'll balance the two duties of mine together.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Atul,
Yes, sir.
I see that you have been a university sports captain,
Yes, sir.
right? So now tell me, in science, you have generally a photograph of Einstein,
Yes, sir.
representing science. Arts, you have Picasso, generally. Tell me, sports, who would you choose to represent global sports?
So because I want to advance India's soft power, I would choose an Indian, and I can think of Sir Sachin Tendulkar.
See, Picasso is not based on Italian
Yes,
or because he's a yes, sorry, Spanish. So based on his own merit,
Sir, I do feel that Sachin Tendulkar, known as the wizard of cricket, he has proven his merit all across the world, and so therefore I would definitely also his personal conduct. Is
okay. So
something-
one condition is what you said.
Yes, sir.
Give me some other reason why you have chosen him.
Sir, his personal conduct as well is said to be perfectly aligned with sportsman spirit, and therefore, sir, I would want to put him
Choose him.
as the ambassador of sports.
What about Pele? No. What about Muhammad Ali?
Sir, I would still prioritize our own
All right,
sports
all right.
persons.
Now, you're also from Gujarat,
Yes, sir.
right? You have stayed there. Now, the people say there is something like Gujarat model of development. Is there anything like that?
Sir, it is a general term which is given to at least the last 2 decades of approach of the Gujarat government towards development, which is driven by heavy investment, heavy infrastructure, participation of the private sector, and sir, also a pro-business governance. So, for example, easy clearances, single window clearances, easy access to credit, subsidies, etc.
But that is in most state where investment comes, say Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, that's the same steps. So what is unique about the so-called Gujarat model of development?
Sir, I believe it is in terms of the degree, all the steps that I mentioned earlier. It can be seen in the manifestation of our vibrant Gujarat summit. Sir, it has attracted 26 lakh crores of MOUs. So, sir, I think it is unprecedented and therefore this umbrella term of the Gujarat model of development.
All right. Now, you also associated with the Indian Defence Account Service,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Can you tell me something about the defense budget, the interim budget? What was the amount allocated?
Sir, I'll have to check the exact figures, but it has crossed 6 lakh crores as of now.
6.22 lakh
Yes,
crore.
sir.
Now, how you also have interest in foreign policy. Now, you tell me, how can this defense budget be brought down? Give me one or two suggestion steps.
Sir, I can think of rationalization of the defense budget in terms of enhancing the quality of expenditure we are doing. So, for example, we are seeing the revenue expenditure in the army is as high as 86%. And so, therefore, to reduce it, we have some structural changes like the Agniveer scheme has been introduced. Also, some legacy units like logistics are being contractualized. And sir, also the defense indigenization, which we are aiming for, is going to bring down our import bill. So these are some measures I can think
So,
for our
defense indigenization, the government has already started.
Yes, sir.
Tell us something about the progress it has made.
Sir, we have made a lot of progress. Sir, in the sense that 68, sir, I'm forgetting the figures, about 60 to 70% has been our own indigenous procurement in the year 2019, if I remember it correctly, when I read it the last time. And sir, also another arm of this is the export. So, sir, from 2014 to 2019, our export has increased as far as 700%. So, sir, these
Amount, give me some amount.
Sir, I'll have to check the figures.
What is the export amount today? It has been given in Parliament. Are you aware of it?
I'm sorry, sir, I'll definitely check it out.
Okay, so tell me, what are the three main challenges to India becoming a more, successful exporter of arms, weapons?
Yes, sir. Sir, one major issue is in terms of the very structure of defense industry, which is dominated by the public sector in India, like three or four major players like HAL, BEL. So attracting private players has been a challenge for us so far. Sir, some legacy issues in terms of high technology requirement has also been highlighted, like the fighter pilot engine is something we have not been able to indigenously develop so far. And so finally, I can think of legacy issues like our labor laws issues in terms of skilled workforce and also harnessing it in the defense industry. These three challenges.
Nothing else? What about market, finding a market? Can we all sustain everything? We need to find market.
Indeed, sir. So
All
that's
right.
also a big
All
challenge.
right. Now, you tell me, government is using technology in a big way in the income tax, right? Tell me something about it, how successful it has been.
Sir, so I believe I'll get to know more once I join the training. But from the understanding that I have right now, sir, in direct taxes, we have come up with faceless assessments, which has reduced the people-to-people interface that was there earlier. And sir, in indirect taxes, we have come up with GST or the GST network and the GST council. So these are the two.
How successful has it been?
Sir, I'll check more on the figures.
Okay. Now, India and its neighborhood. India has neighborhood first policy.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it has been successful?
Sir, I can think of our neighborhood policy as a mixed bag. We have been able to maintain some of our traditionally good relations like with Bhutan or even Bangladesh to a greater extent. Sir, we have some legacy issues like with Pakistan and also rising challenges with China. And sir, there are some neighbors where a lot of our foreign policy is dependent on their domestic politics, like we are seeing with Maldives. So, sir, it has been a mix.
Okay,
of all.
briefly, very briefly tell me, what is the solution to this, the problems that you have said? 1, 2, 3. If we take these 3 steps, some of these problems can be solved.
So the major reason I see is connectivity. World Bank has highlighted that
Okay,
South Asia.
one is connectivity.
Yes,
What
sir.
else?
So also connectivity on multiple fronts. It can be physical in terms of roadways, railways, or trade. It can be institutional, like reviving BIMSTEC, SARC. It can be people to people, like exchange of media, academia. And sir, I can think that the big brother attitude perception that our neighbors have, that can be countered by India
What is
coming.
your view? Do we behave like a big brother?
Sir, there have been very few instances. For
Give
example,
instances.
sir, the 2015 blockade that we saw with Nepal, that was one instance.
Are you sure India didn't do anything?
Sir, I'm sorry, as far as I know, I may have a limited
All right.
understanding.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Atul, we are talking about neighbors and we are also talking about defense. What are the 3 things we must do, and in a way we are obliged to do, to face China as an adversary? I'm not talking about infrastructure, general things. Anyway, those are being improved at the border.
Sir, other than our own preparedness, I can think of the strategic alliances that we are forming across the board.
That is one.
Yes, sir.
Can you name 1 or 2?
So, for example, the Quad alliance
Quad,
that
then?
we have. Sir, also I2U2 for the Middle East. It is
That is
filling
one.
the power
Alliance
vacuum.
is one strategy. Then what else should we do? And in our own preparedness, where exactly we can do more?
Sir, I can think of the hard power strategies, our defense preparedness, which can be at the border, and also, sir, the Vibrant Villages program that we have. And so the other factor,
Hard power preparedness, what all will you include? We should improve.
sir, our defense preparedness at the border, also our structures. For example, the theater command, it's going to prepare us for a modern warfare.
Okay,
And sir, economy also will come in a part of it.
correct.
So these are the 2
In
main
economy,
elements.
what should we do?
Sir,
See, we have to be specific, Atul.
yes, sir. Sir, in economy, I can think of harnessing the opportunities of the moment in terms of China plus 1 policy. There is diversion from China to
Okay.
India. And so for that, we have to make our own structural reforms like the labor laws reforms or the logistics
If necessary,
reforms.
we should do that.
Yes.
Okay. And defense preparedness, I wanted to know what exactly we should proceed with.
So when it comes to our equipments, it would be increasing our indigenization capability.
That is general, indigenization and depending more on our own and export. These are general. Suppose I ask you that you name 2 equipments which should develop to face China. What are those things you would do other than nuclear bombs?
Yes, sir. Sir, one is our aircraft carriers. It has been a long-standing demand of the Navy.
Correct.
And sir, second I can think of is drones, because it is being proposed that these are going to be the future of warfare.
We are buying some drone from US. Will it be enough or something else you have in mind?
So right now we are buying Predator drones. But sir, I think as far as I know, our own capacities are
See, Atul,
less
क्या है
in this region.
कि when you say your own capacity, do you know how long it takes to develop a technology, even in collaboration with other country, from the word go? Suppose you start developing drone today, how many years it will take by the time your first drone is out of factory?
Sir, I'm
Just guess how much it will take.
Sir, it should be taking a lot of time.
Not lot. I want to know what would you guess? How many years? Let me give you. It will take 2 years, 5 years, or 8 years. What is your guess?
So my guess would be 8 years to
At least 5, you are right. Okay, at least 5 years it will take.
Okay, thank
So
you, sir.
it doesn't help today. Tomorrow, suppose there is an aggression from China, it doesn't help. Maybe if it is an aggression after 10 years, it might help then.
Yes,
So you have to be specific on that. That is no.
thank you.
Now, I want to know just how much oil companies are benefiting, making profit because of these recent wars in Ukraine and Gaza. There are 5-6 companies in US. Can you guess how much profit they have made in the, what is it called? छप्पर फाड़ के जो profit होते हैं.
Sir, guessing the figures would be difficult for me.
अंदाज़न.
Sorry, sir.
Okay,
find
can
it
you name
difficult.
1 or 2 companies?
Sorry, sir. I'll check
Achha, I
on
find your father lives in heavy water plant colony or something, no?
that. Yes, sir.
Achha. What is heavy water?
Sir, heavy water is D2O, which deuterium, which is one of the isotopes of hydrogen, and it is used as a moderator in nuclear reaction.
When you use it as a moderator, what is the fuel?
Sir, sorry, sir. I'll check on that.
It is not, it is not used along with the, I mean, there is no normal water. It is heavy water. So which is the fuel? You don't know. Generally, which are the fuels used in nuclear weapons? I mean,
sir,
reactors.
Sir, if I may, is it uranium and plutonium? Is what
No,
we are
you have to tell me. I am asking you, sir.
Sir, as far as I know, it is
Which
uranium.
isotope of uranium and plutonium? Because they have several
Yes, sir.
isotopes. Some we have, some we don't.
Sir, can I
Yes,
make
you
a
can guess.
It is U-235, if I'm right.
U-235 and plutonium?
Sir, I may take a guess. I
Yes.
think it's 238. Sir, but I'm not sure.
Okay,
about this.
you just note down.
Yes.
Okay, you said you read book on diaspora literature.
Yes.
Do you mean the literature created by diaspora or on written, the subject is diaspora? Which one do you mean?
Sir, I've read both the kinds.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you name a few books?
So, for example, written by the diaspora would be
Who?
Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children.
Mhm.
And on the diaspora, sir, I can think of Amitav Ghosh's Ibis trilogy, which is about the Girmitiyas.
What is the name of Amitav Ghosh book?
So, the Ibis trilogy, there are Ibis trilogy, 3 books in this.
Acha.
Uh,
Acha.
yes, sir.
There are 3 books on this, written by him on diaspora. What is the name given to Indian diaspora in say Caribbean island?
So, they are referred to as the Girmitiyas.
Why?
So, the word Girmitiya comes from agreement. So, these are the people who in the 19th century, mostly after the abolition of slavery in 1833, they were sent to the Caribbean islands and also in the Southeast Asia as indentured laborers.
Okay. From where they went and how long was the duration? What was the duration of agreement?
So,
From where they were picked up?
Sir, largely it was from what is the present UP-Bihar region.
Correct.
And sir, the duration I'll have to check once.
5 years it was.
Okay, sir.
But they
Thank you,
never
sir.
came back.
Yes, sir.
And they say that Ramcharit Manas was popularized by them. How? Why Ramcharit Manas became a subject matter of, spreading the word around?
Sir, it was the similarity of the themes of exile, which is there in Ramji's exile to the forest, and also the exile of Girmitiyas from their homeland to a far off place.
Okay, fine. Firstly, that you are a good candidate, anyway shown by your selection in 2 services, and we also hope that this time you should make it. You should be very clearly prepared. Why only IFS? I have nothing to offer you. You will have to think in a few sentences. You can't give a bhashan there, as you know, in UPSC. You have to be very, very brief. You will be given even this time anywhere between 20 minutes to 25, not more. not less also. So you have to be clear on that. That is the first advice you will give. Secondly, I think this interview tape will be given to him, a copy of it as a link or pen drive, whatever it is. Go through that yourself very, very closely and very, very seriously. When is your interview?
It's the 19th of March.
19th of, so there is about a month or so. You have plenty of time. And see, in your own opinion, where you could have responded better.
Sure.
That is the second advice. Third advice is that on China, you have to be specific. Even on economy, I didn't ask you on economy, but on economy also you have to be specific.
Yes.
We can't depend on China one policy, China plus one policy. We have to do on our own. And when we have to do our own, it is not merely self-sufficiency, because in long term, self-sufficiency will give results only in long term, not in short term.
Yes.
In short term, there are other things which will give results. For example, reforms, quick reforms to be done will give you results. There is a massive investment of FDI in the last 2-3 years in India. FDI as well as FPI. See the difference between both.
I'll check.
One affects the stock, Sensex and all. Other affects the long-term development of economy. Why they are being attracted to India? Then things like in economy, the repo rate. It refers to US as well as to India. It directly affects the inflation. That you have to be very thorough. So in economy, investment, reforms, and international, collaboration. For example, semiconductor chips. A lot of companies are being contacted by Indians for fabrication. We don't fabricate, as you know.
Yes.
But our expenditure on chips is $30 billion every year, is likely to go to 60 by the end of 2025. PM said that we are lagging behind by 30 years. So you have to understand what is meant by, number one, lagging behind. Lagging behind in what? Fabrication. We are doing well in design. Number of chips are being designed, our design groups are quite strong. But we don't have testing, we don't have packaging, we don't have fabrication in any case. So those things you have to understand. On China, I told you that you have to be more specific. War, you have to understand the implication for global implication as well as for India. How our exports are being affected by it. How are imports being affected. Then nuclear power, the power, the composition of power structure in India. What is, how much is being produced by coal and related things, how much by gas, how much by this solar, wind, solar, wind and nuclear. Nuclear is only about 1.5%. Why so low? In France, it is more than 70%. So these things, all these things, you have to be prepared.
Sure.
Okay. You have a good personality. You have a good expression. And we wish you would make it this time. Let me ask my colleagues if they want to add anything.
See, Atul, I think, you already chosen. So expectation would be high, number one.
Yes.
Number two is that avoid this guess business.
Yes, sure.
You are an officer. You can't say, sir, give me a guess. Can I guess? Avoid that.
Yes.
All right. Third is, use of word. Be careful. Like you said, India neighborhood, big brother attitude. Avoid it.
Yes, sure.
These are very controversial, very difficult to justify. How you would say that, India is big brother? Okay, and you have written IFS is the first choice. There are no free lunches in international politics. Okay, we are big brother. We want our neighbors to be sensitive to our security needs. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so it's not big brother. So be careful. Choice of words. Be very brief.
General sir.
That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Uh, it's been covered well in power of expression, and you're well attired, so makes you very suitable candidate for IFS, which is your sole choice. So that's a good one. Matches with your choice. The tie that you're wearing, perhaps you could wear the solid kind of. That means no designs. One single color, don't have any designs. The width, etc. is okay, and the knot can be little tight. Okay. Shoes. I'm sure you would have polished them, but because of the dust and all, it looks a little shabby. So what you can do, you can carry a piece of paper, a piece of cloth with you, and before coming in, you can
Yes, sir.
do it, touch it up again. Circumlocution, as has been brought out, give a very specific answer. Beat around the bush, circumlocating, that will not help. That will weaken your stance. And also, you give straightforward answer, clear, simple, straightforward answers. No guessing, no circumlocution, double meaning, trying to give a meaning as if you know it, but actually it gives a feeling you do not know adequately the depth of it. So, as a feeling nahi dena. And also, the day you go for the interview, you must read up that day's newspaper, definitely, because I know you may not have found time today, but when you go for the interview, people are updated with the day's news. So it is very probable that an odd question may be asked from the today's paper itself. And since the memory is very fresh, last week's papers are also very important.
Yes.
So complete weeks of paper, particularly the day's paper, is important. If you go through it, you'll feel more confident. You're good, and there is every chance that you'll make it.
I should also reiterate the current affairs. What General Saab is saying about paper. Current affairs, you have to be very thorough and understand them like subject.
Yes.
Like the subjects you understand, international relations and political science and all. That is the way you have to understand the current affairs. These days things are becoming very complicated. For example, AI, artificial intelligence, chat GPT. What is chat GPT? All that you have to understand. How it is affecting the employment process. So all these current affairs have to be understood well. Do you have any questions from us?
Sir, was in reference to what sir said. In earlier mocks also, I've been told that without knowing, without being aware, I speak answers which turn out to be wrong. So, sir, is
See,
anything
best
on
thing
that?
is you have to understand the member's mind, what he wants to ask or she wants to ask from you. So when some question is put to you, just pause a little to understand the real intention behind that question. And don't give wrong answer, just say you don't know. You are not expected to know everything in the world, as you know. Say, I don't know. So they will switch to some other subject, and the subject may be of your liking. So you have all the chance of success. Anything else?
Sir, that
So
way.
may I give one or two more points?
Yeah, sure.
English literature. Some people might be, the kind who read books.
Yes.
So they might ask you certain authors. So you should be very clear as to have you read Thomas Hardy or Jane Austen and things like that. Just brush up. At least you should know the story in 5 lines.
Yes.
Means suppose you say, sir, I've read Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. You would have read it long time back, for instance. Just go through it. I've read this book. So what was the whole story theme? Who was the hero? Likewise. So that you should be very clear. Just brush it up.
Yes.
Then Agniveer thing that you talked about. All right. There would be pluses and the minuses of Agniveer. Right. So you should be clear about both. Because moment you say an extraneous answer, the question has been asked about a particular thing, you add another field to it. Agniveer is the new word you used by you now. Now somebody might ask a question on Agniveer. So whatever you're using in your answers, you must be clear about it. So Agniveer, go through it clearly, though government stance is XYZ, whatever, what are the pros and cons as being talked about by people, by the defense people actually, and what is your own perception of it? ठीक है? And SRT, situation reaction test, which I gave you, father hearing, very clear. Sir, my father, I'll take care of him and reschedule my studies. That's it.
Yes.
है ना? इसमें ऐसा होगा वैसा होगा कुछ नहीं. My father, he needs my attention. I'll give him all the attention that he needs, and I will stretch out myself and study a little more, reschedule my study. That's it, without compromising the quantum quality of my studies. ठीक है?
Yes.
Specific. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.